Yeah, worth pointing out, the first one was here, first historic was here in 1997 as a celebration of the 700th anniversary of the ruling family. The lights are on, the lights go out, and away goes Stuart Hall straight into the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw Padmore come across trying to get into second place, but Werner hung on in there and up the hill. Oh, my God. Oh, that was close, wasn't it? The Penske getting completely out of shape. And oh dear, the shadow number 15. That is Tony Seidler, the Swiss driver. Tony, hugely experienced, but some problem, lost the engine perhaps.
They haven't got very long to wheel that off the
No, they haven't.
grid. So here they go. It's Hall from Padmore, Werner, then Lyons.
And then, of course, it's Davison and the Embassy Hill, a pretty unfavoured racing car that we've never seen going this far up the grid, I think, in the past, with UOP was the sponsor, Universal Oil Products for America, sponsored the Don Nichols team, and it's all getting a bit hectic though. Might happen side by side through the tunnel.
I think that was the Hesketh, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
James Hagan. And, well, quite a break. The first six have got away on their own, and then there's a gap behind Matthew Wrigley, or Lucas Haluka.
Yeah, and I think Werner got past Padmore, didn't he? That's Werner's helmet, the pink one, and there's Padmore behind him.
So Davison, then Halusa, then there's the gap back to Matthew Wrigley, who is next up. But here they are, they've completed lap one. They've managed to get that car off the grid very rapidly. That's they only had a minute and a half to do it or something. So it's Hall, Werner, Padmore, Lyons, Davison, then Halusa, then the gap to Wrigley it's Lajoux in 7th place. Wrigley 8th. Frederic Lajoux from Monaco has got up into 7th place. In number 19, that's the Surtees TS19.
And down in 13th place, an extraordinary man called Steve Brooks, who is an adventurer, has flown pole to pole in helicopters and circumnavigated the world with a group of others in a Spitfire World War II plane, and done many other crazy things, has to be said, and racing successfully in the Masters Series in Le Mans Peugeot from 10 years or so back. But it is Hall who is hanging on there. Just see if Werner can offer a challenge, or maybe Padmore. There's Padmore. Nick from Sussex.
I think Davison is in trouble. He's dropped well back.
That's a shame. Let's see the start again. You see how Padmore came across on Werner, but Werner forced his teammate out and hung on to second place. Terrific battle, and that was it. Penske getting all out of shape. And here we see it from another angle with the UOP Shadow not really getting away.
That Penske, I think, was Matthew Wrigley, so that's why he dropped to the back of that grid.
Yeah,
group.
And
so they've completed 2 laps. Stuart Hall pulling away from Marco Werner. 1.8 seconds between the two of them. Werner being shadowed by Padmore. That is the Embassy.
Yeah, that's Davison's car.
Yeah.
And that's in a pretty dodgy place there. But so the two Chrome Lotuses, JPS's, slightly different model. It's like 1 year difference, I think. Having a terrific battle here.
And then they are followed by Michael Lyons in 4th place. And then 5th is Lucas Halusa.
Werner is in the slightly older, the 76, while Padmore's in the 77.
And Halusa, then there's the gap now from Halusa back to Lajoux in 6th place after that retirement of James Davison.
Yeah, well, Hall's really going for it, trying to eke out a decent gap over the two Chrome sponsored and back cars, or owned cars, I should say.
Another yellow flag there.
Yes.
Well, no, it's green.
Green there.
Didn't see anything.
Lights of Denningham and Peter Revson driving the marvellous Yardley coloured McLaren M23. There's the Surtees.
Under pressure from the delayed Matthew Wrigley after getting so out of shape out of Saint-Yvon on lap 1. And Matthew Wrigley lining up the Surtees of Lajou, trying to get past the Monegasque.
I'm pretty sure he'll do that in short order. But Hall it is from Werner, Padmore and Lyons. Yeah. The Frenchman defending well.
This battle, well, Monegasque,
Monegasque,
in sixth place.
Yeah.
And they're shadowed, of course, by the next car, number 37, that of Guillaume Romand in the ensign. So, Hall, yeah, the Lotuses have got one another to keep an eye on, as well as Michael Lyons. So, in a way, they're almost distracted by one another, whereas Stuart Hall almost has a clear track and he can concentrate on pulling away. He's got a 2.5-second lead, which I should imagine he'd be pretty happy with.
Down in 15th place, another great enthusiast, Doug Mockett, in another Penske. Used to seeing Doug racing in Tyrrell's, if I remember correctly, in the past. But look, Padmore's keeping the pressure. Yellow flag waving again. I wonder what's that. Yeah, the greens. I can't see anything in between.
I think it's something on the inside there of the swimming pool, well offline. That's why we can't see anything. But this is really the battle over second, third, fourth.
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Oh.
A bit of aerodynamic appendage, which people don't actually need, obviously.
No, I noticed he got the SO logo on it, so we should be able to work out what car it came from. Maybe we'll see one with a missing bit of wing.
Stuart Hall doing a grand job there. 2.9-second lead now.
Yeah, Stuart be racing again in the final race of the weekend in March, in which he was mega quick. So that's a full downforce car with a full aero package on it. We go even quicker this. Padmore's really keeping, although that's the Embassy Hill of Davison. He got a spinner there, the ex-John Watson Penske. Is that
Doug Mockett?
So he got the commentator's curse, didn't he?
Yeah, Mockett. You put the mockers on Mockett.
Yeah, I did indeed.
Doug Mockett there. Well, actually, all those Penskes seem to have ex-Watty. And there's another Embassy car. So Embassy car's not really having a very good time.
No.
We've got 2 cars stopped on circuit. We've got a piece of debris. 3 cars, in fact.
And we got one Penske going past another.
Yeah, just putting the power down and not getting it down on these Avon tyres. And this is number 31. This is the ensign of Fumagalli.
That was a bit of pushing and shoving going. Oh, it turned.
And the Hesketh.
Yeah.
So lots of incident all the way around the circuit. The Hesketh being driven by Philippe Bonny. No, sorry, that was the Trojan.
Yeah.
James Hagan.
James Hagan,
yeah. So it's still Hall, Werner, Padmore, Lyons, Halusa, then Wrigley, Lajou, Romand, Denetraz in 9th place, and Fumagalli was in 10th. 28.
That's Fulton.
Yeah. He was right at the back of the grid.
That's Stanley Fulton from the States in his PC3 Penske. Although the American company, of course, Roger Penske, one of the most famous entrepreneurs and team owners of all time in motor racing, although under a bit of pressure at the moment after something happened recently in the IndyCar series. Started in March, but then built his own cars. Had just one Grand Prix win with John Watson. Spoke to Watty earlier in the week. I think he would have liked to have been here, really.
Padmore still putting a lot of pressure on his teammate, Marco Werner. And it's good stuff, isn't it? Look, cool, closes right up there as they go through the swimming pool. Still that piece of wing there.
And it's gone by under problems for the Werner car.
Yeah.
Did he miss a gear or did the engine just falter?
He's not. Oh, he is coming into the pits.
Yeah.
Heading for the pits. That's Marco Werner coming into the pits. So we'll keep an eye on that if we possibly can. And so that's really unfortunate. So Padmore up into second, Lyons up into third, Halusa in fourth, that's Lucas Halusa, and then fifth is Matthew Wrigley, sixth is Frederic Lajou.
There's the Trojan you've been talking about, the rather ugly
Not pretty.
front downforce idea.
And of course, Trojan used to make cars for McLaren.
They did indeed, yeah. But Peter Agg, the man behind that company.
Sussex company.
Yeah, I said that company. I said.
I did say Sussex.
Yeah.
So there is now Padmore. Look, he's actually racing away. He's almost as though he was being held up throughout. He's now pulled well away from Michael Lyons.
So they've left that to Embassy Hill in that position, but it's out of the way, isn't it?
Yeah, it's offline.
Yeah.
Everyone should know it's there by now. But really a good effort.
And I noticed Barani was one of the latecomers, moved up the field a little bit.
He's in 15th place in the Ferrari.
Yeah.
And Werner is out of the car. And this is where it happens. Werner suddenly is overtaken by Padmore and Lyons. What was the problem with Werner? Well, as I say, he's out of the car, not surprisingly. And whatever the problem was terminal. Stuart Hall in the lead.
Yeah, I got to guess at transmission problems, lack of gears, but Stuart Hall there. Just 5 seconds ahead of Nick Padmore now, but Michael Lyons worrying at the back of Padmore's car. I mean, he raced a lot together. Padmore, a lot of success in the past in the Masters Formula One series races around Europe, being a champion of that. Nick Padmore, long career in motor racing for many years. Thought it was in the lower reaches of like Radicals, where he was a hired hand and coach. But suddenly has blossomed now in this form of racing, and definitely one of the hot shoes you want to have in it if you've got a really nice historic car. Hall, Padmore, Lyons. Nick gets to drive a lot of race cars, and you know, everything from a Mini to a Formula Junior car, Formula 3 cars, all sorts of stuff. He just absolutely loves it. There's Michael Lyons with that black, almost looks like some motorcycle helmet, doesn't it? Rather unusual design on it with the silver detailing. You see the grandstands filling up. But if they're just arrived, they've missed some fantastic racing thus far. There's the Penske going through. There's that Trojan, raced in period by Tim Schenken, for many years the race director at the Australian Grand Prix, and hugely successful as a sports car driver for Ferrari. That's difficult for Ferrari. And lovely ex-Lauda Ferrari also in that battle. And what was happening there? That's Hall going. That's Hall going past Padmore. Padmore, I think, is in trouble.
But Hall was ahead of Padmore anyway.
Well, no. It's that Werner gone back out.
No, it's another JPS Lotus.
Oh, it's the third one, is it? Yes.
Yeah. I think. But I'm equally confused.
Well, we'll sort it out, that's for sure. And
is that Chris Lock's car?
Yeah. It's Chris Lock. Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah. Sort of forgotten Chris Lock, as it was in here with another Lotus 77, I think.
Yeah. The American driver, but some way further back at the moment. So Hall still out in the lead by 4 seconds. So it's come down a little bit between Hall and Padmore in second place. Then Michael Lyons in third, who is 2.2 seconds behind Padmore and 7.5 ahead of Lucas Halusa, who is in fourth place. Matthew Wrigley fifth, and Guillaume Romand in number 37 in fifth place in that Ensign N175.
Yeah, doing a good job on that car.
Yeah.
Just
So they are on lap 10, 9 laps completed. That's Michael Lyons. Well, he knows the state of the circuit as he goes through Massenet into Casino Square. And we seem to have, is that 2 cars there now?
Yeah, we have.
Another one. And so 2 cars at the entrance to the tunnel, the second one in the dark. And almost as though there's something above that white line. Let's have a look. So,
oh, that was a near miss, wasn't it? Yes.
And that was a Penske then slowing.
Well, here, see. Well, something was being parked, wasn't the other side of the...
Romain has actually dropped down the order, hasn't he? And I think that's...
I think that might have been him.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I'm pretty sure that... Oh, careful, careful, Stuart. As he...
Stuart Hall trying to lap number 27. And that is Steve Brooks. Steve Brooks driving Jamie Constable's Lola, run by Martin O'Connell. And Stuart Hall getting through. 10 laps completed.
As we said, this race is quite a bit longer than the previous ones. We're only just halfway through. Had plenty of action yet. And we got Padmore going a little bit quicker than Stuart Hall now.
Yep. Gaps coming down between Hall and Padmore.
But Hall won't be able to see Padmore in his mirrors now. Look, there is Hall. Where's Padmore coming? There he is.
And we go to a Surtees and a Shadow. That's the Shadow is Jean-Denis Delatraz, number 16.
Did a bit of Formula 1 racing in the past. 3 or 4 races.
And just ahead of him, I think it's Mark Davis.
Yeah, the Belgian racing car dealer. He's had a lot of success over in the States in a Lola T70. Always races at the Daytona Classics. Nice, another nice meeting to go. That's being all sports cars, of course.
Just remember, this track is relatively short. Relatively short at
2.3, is it?
2 point, yeah, I've got it written down here. At 2.07 miles, but 3.337 kilometers, 18 turns. It means an awful lot of inputs into the car, and in modern Formula 1, Mercedes calculated that you put in input something like over 200 different controls
and lots
into the car.
Lots of gear changes as well. Haulers,
brakes, accelerator, everything.
Padmore obviously is closing a little bit on Stuart Hall. Stuart answered the challenge on that previous lap by putting in his fastest lap so far and pulled away from Padmore. But as we know, these days, Bobby will be here in 2 weeks' time coming out to the Grand Prix, and probably 17 or 18 of the 20, barring accidents, will finish the race.
Yep.
In the old days, sometimes half a field retired.
Yes, exactly. Very often you'd only have 6 finishers, 5 finishers.
Yeah. Yep. So over the years, we've got a lot more mechanical
reliability.
Reliability is what I tried to conjure up here. Hall, Padmore, Lyons, 3 of the best historic racers in the business here, first, second and third.
The gap between Padmore and Lyons really came down 0.8 of a second a moment ago. It's now doubled that. Lyons is almost sort of dropping back a little bit, and it's fluctuating quite a lot, that gap. That's what we're looking at the moment. There's the JPS, there's the Marlboro. The 2 liveries going through, second and third. And then in 4th spot, still Lucas Haluka doing a good job for the young Austrian driver. And then 5th, Matthew Wrigley. 6th, Frederic Lajoux from Monaco. Then it's Davis, Delatraz, Brooks and Hagen completing the top 10.
And Andrea Barani, who was the last-minute addition to that number 12 Methuselah Racing Ferrari in the Andretti helmet. He's still moving up the field. He's up to 13th now. And I noticed his last lap was his quickest. So he's doing a good job in a car I'm sure he doesn't know very well.
Yeah, I think he's being fairly careful, as you would with a car like that.
thundering through the tunnel. And
back markers now for Michael Lyons, but he'll get past that Penske, I think, fairly quickly. He does so. But he's been dropped a little bit by Nicholas Padmore. 2.4 seconds between Nick Padmore and Michael Lyons. It really is elastic around here with the back markers. There's Stuart Hall, completes 13 laps of 18, and that was his fastest lap, a 1:32.5 for Stuart Hall as he charges up the hill, and his next target is Jean-Denis Delatraz. Son Louis Delatraz, racing in contemporary sports cars, was in Formula 2 up until this season.
yeah, doing a good job in sports cars as well. Won the Sebring 12 Hours. Big sports car race yesterday, of course, at Spa. And congratulations to the Jota team on winning that. And
winning outright, it must be said, as well. Because, of course, before they were in LMP2, but this time winning outright.
yeah, with their Porsche.
Number 19, Frédéric Lajoux in 6th place, Monégasque. And, yeah, 6th place, so a little bit of a gap behind Matthew Wrigley. Quite a gap there between the two of them. And I think he may be the first driver who's been lapped.
You might know this, Bob. I'm not sure how many laps the Monaco Grand Prix, the current Monaco Grand Prix is these days. It was 100 laps for many years, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, exactly. Yeah.
These boys just get to do 18.
And those early races would take 3 or 4 hours.
Yes.
You know, they were really, really long. So, yeah.
Blue flag waved as Michael Lyons carves his way through. So disappointment for Marco Werner, hoping to get on the podium in this race. We'll try and find out during the lunchtime period what happened to that car.
And of course he'll be out later on as well. We'll see him again.
Yeah.
Again with the Chrome Cars trio, which will then be a trio of Padmore and Werner, joined by their previous adversary, Michael Lyons.
Yeah. Well, they've got a great lineup of cars, and the garage down there, they're using the regular Formula 1 garage. It looks very professional, the setup.
So Stuart Hall, 8.5 seconds out in the lead now for Stuart Hall. And threading his way through the back markers. Frédéric Lajoux, I think, is the next target in the Surtees. Number 18 there. No, it's Mark Davis in that car. And Mark Davis, great respect from these competitors for one another. And if you're being lapped, you try very hard to get out of the way. As we saw earlier on with Sid Hoole, who was trying very hard to get out of the way.
So Hall heading for second successive victory. Let's remember last time he was kept very honest 2 years ago by Marco Werner. Not the case this year. Kept pretty honest by Nick Padmore. But Padmore now 7.4 seconds down. I think Lucas Halusa having a very good run also, I have to say. You know, for somebody isn't full-time, I think he works in the financial industry, whereas you know, Hall, Padmore and Lyons are all effectively professional racing drivers, their livings from it, and preparing, with Lyons' case, preparing cars as well. But the others also coaching, a lot of coaching going on in Stuart Hall and Nick Padmore.
And Stuart Hall, remember, racing Roald Goethe's McLaren. That's what this car is. So Royal Goethe, who is the car collector. I thought at one point he was interested in Aston Martins, but anyway, he's in the gas and oil industry, and consequently has a collection of Gulf-sponsored cars, which is why he's got this McLaren. But he's also got not necessarily Formula One cars, but other cars sponsored by Gulf. And now he's beginning to start a collection of silver cars as well.
Interestingly, Lyons just done the fastest middle sector of the race thus far. So what can Michael Lyons? Only 3 seconds behind Padmore. He's going to have a push for second place, I think, as we head into the final couple of laps here of the final race of the morning.
They are on their penultimate lap. The lead gap is 5.5 seconds, and then second to third, Padmore to Lyons, 3.2 seconds. So he's got quite a lot to catch up. Lyons lapping quite considerably quicker than Halusa, for example, in 4th place, 13 seconds back to Halusa. Yeah. But as you say, doing a good job, because those in front of him are pretty professional.
Stuart Hall, the fastest lap of the race, a little earlier, 1:32.558. Just a little bit off that pace now, but keeping Padmore and Lyons at bay. We haven't seen much of Ferrari, moved up another place.
Ferrari in the Ferrari, but Stuart Hall in amongst the back markers, or rather, yeah, that's the M26 of Michael Lyons in amongst the back markers. There's Stuart Hall coming up to complete lap 17, 1 to go. I always wonder when the bloke sticks out his finger. I mean, can you really see that when you're speeding past at 120 miles an hour? One finger? I don't know.
Unlikely, isn't it? But they have pit boards. So
yeah, exactly.
They're not a situation.
Now this is so crucial for Stuart Hall. Look at the back markers. He's in amongst them. It's so.
Oh yes, he's really got to bide his time here. It's held up.
That's it.
A couple of seconds.
Yeah, you're really relying on somebody else to look in the mirrors.
Yeah, and that was that other JPS 77, wasn't it, Chris Locke?
Yeah, that's the second time. Yeah. And the gap has actually come down to 3.2 seconds. And look how Padmore has been caught by Lyons. That's come down to under 2 seconds as well on what is the last lap. It could all still change. Hopefully everyone gets through the back markers okay. But Stuart Hall certainly heading now for the checkered flag. In the background, the 2 JPS cars, and Padmore overtaking Chris Locke. Not very far behind, 3.2 seconds still, that gap. But just a few corners to go, just a couple of corners to go for Stuart Hall.
Yeah, Stuart Hall round La Rascasse, hairpin for the last time in the superb McLaren M23, designed by Gordon Coppock. And there he goes and takes the checkered flag. And Stuart Hall adds to his tallies of victories here, makes it 2 out of 2 in this Serie E race.
The margin of victory in the end, 3.5 seconds. Stuart Hall to Nick Padmore in second place, and then Michael Lyons in third place, 1.35 further back. So Lyons did close up, but not by enough at the end.